not know this by looking at me, but I am a rebel. I am a true rebel without a cause. And this all started when I was about 3 years old. And you may be wondering who my main contender is. It was my mother. So let me tell you a little bit about my mom. She's 5'0". Really, I think she's about 4'11", but we lie and say 5 feet just to make her feel better. She's blonde hair and blue eyes. I know some of you are looking at me going, what? So my dad is West African, so that basically means I look nothing like either one of my parents. And my mom used to use this to her advantage. But the real cool thing about my mom is that she was in the military. And so she wasn't only in the military, she was a trained marksman. Yeah, which basically means my mom was a sniper. Which made dating at my house pretty interesting. When I would bring guys home, I would have this very traditional West African father saying, "What do you want with my daughter, huh? You want to marry her?" And my mom kind of did a bit more of a subtle approach. She would hang a picture in the front foyer of her holding a massive rifle. Yeah. Needless to say, my 20s were a little bit difficult. But that's kind of how my family does things. We always sprinkle kind of a little bit of crazy on everything. And I think you have to do that when you come from an interracial family, because there's a lot of challenges and a lot of learning moments. My mom was always trying to wrestle with my hair and get the right products. Yeah, had some interesting moments, let's just say the least. But the best part was she never strayed from her military training, which I guess made her the right person for the job. So I was 5 years old and we went grocery shopping, and it was with my mom and my 2 sisters. And so we're in the grocery store, and some people were kind of looking at us. I guess we looked like a little bit of an odd family. And like I said, I was a little bit of a rebel, so I didn't really play by the rules. So as we were grocery shopping, for whatever reason that day, I decided I wanted to be British. Why not? Right? So as we're going through the produce aisle and we get to the meat section, little Sarah starts saying, "Mummy, oh, look at that. That's lovely. Oh, I like this. Tea time. I'm the queen. Lovely times, Mummy." And my mom is getting annoyed. And so she starts off very calmly. "Sarah, cut it out." Right? No. "Why, Mummy? Cut what out? I'm talking completely normal." She looks at me again and she says, "I'm serious. Cut it out." Now at this point, people are starting to stare, okay? And they're kind of wondering, what's this white lady doing with these little mixed kids, and why does that one have an accent? And none of the rest of you do. Of course, at 5 years old, I'm completely oblivious to all of this. So I'm bouncing about, "Oh, lovely, tea time, I'm the queen," all of this. She eventually comes over to me, crouches down, and says, "Sarah, smarten up, stop it. And if you continue, I'm going to walk away from you, and nobody would think I'm your mother anyway." Now I'm thinking, yeah, right. You're not going to leave me. I'm your kid. So as she got up, the minute she rose, I said, "Mummy!" And without us skipping a beat, my mom did this. "Do, do, do. Oh, I wonder whose child that is that's misbehaving. It's not mine." And my little sister started becoming hysterical and freaking out and crying and saying, "Don't leave us, Mommy! Sarah, stop it!" And I thought, oh, wow, she'll really leave us. Okay, so I began to behave. That's kind of how my mom did things. She was very stern and very strict. Most moms probably sing lovely bedtime nursery songs to their children. "Twinkle, twinkle, little star," things like that, right? Yeah? Some of you have had this? Okay, wait for this one. My mom would sing an old army song. And it goes a little like this. You're in the army now. You're not behind the plow. You're a son of a bitch. You'll never get rich. You're in the army now. Probably not so appropriate for a 5-year-old. But that's just how my mom did things. She sprinkled on a little bit of crazy wherever she could. So about 7 years ago, my mom got really, really sick. And I'm not talking a little sick. I'm talking, oh, shit, something could kill this lady sick? So the doctors had told us she had something called sarcoidosis. And if you're wondering what the hell that is, so was I when they said it. It's kind of mimics what cancer does. So it attacks parts of your body. And about only 5% of Canadians get this. And even less get it in the brain, which is where my mom had it. So this meant she started forgetting who we were. She started forgetting her name, food. She would stutter when she talked and had trouble walking. So it was a bit of a rough time for our family, to say the least. And because so little Canadians get this disease, the doctors didn't really know how to treat it, so it was a bit of a trial and error. And so we really just lived every day, just kind of one day at a time. So there was one day I had to pick my mom up from the hospital. She had just finished a procedure. She was getting a spinal tap. And they would do this every so often to see if the medication was working to shrink the cells in her brain. So they would pull the fluid to test it. So I get to the hospital. This is one Friday afternoon. I go to pick her up, and she's just finished her procedure, and the nurse wheels her out to me. So I grab, the wheelchair. Hey, Mom, how you doing? We're kind of going through the hallway. We get to the front of the hospital, and I had to pay for the parking. So I said, okay, I'm going to leave you here at the front. I'm going to go pay for the parking, and I'll be right back. Great. I go and I pay for the parking, and as I turn around to walk towards her, I see she's kind of a bit in a daze. So I'm like, oh, man, okay. So I'm like, hey, Mom. Hey, Mom. Hey, Mom. So I walk closer and closer, and I said, hey, Mom. And she turns to me and says, oh, I'm just waiting for someone. And I said, yeah, I'm the someone you're waiting for. So it's me, it's Sarah, it's your daughter. And so I crouch down, and I start talking to her, and I'm like, Mom, it's me, it's Sarah. And you would think that this would be a bit of a sad moment, but she's getting feisty, right? So she's like, excuse me, I'm waiting for someone. So I start getting feisty back. I go, I know, I am that someone. And she's like, no, I'm waiting for someone. I said, it's me, I'm your daughter. It's me, you're waiting for me. Not realizing that this back and forth is now drawing a crowd. So I look up, and I see people looking at us kind of concerned, like, what's this girl doing to this little old white lady? So then in that moment, I said to her in a very stern voice, Mom, cut it out. It's me. And if you don't get it together, I'm going to leave you in this hospital, and no one will think I'm your daughter. I kid you not. It's like something snapped. She turned and went, Sarah? And I thought, thank God. And we wheeled the hell out of there. Once I got her in the car and we were driving home, I'm kind of, processing this whole ordeal, thinking, God, is she going to be sick forever? This is really awkward. She doesn't remember who I am. She doesn't even know who the hell she is. What the heck? And then I hear her starting to sing. You wouldn't believe the song. You're in the army now. You're not behind the plow. You're a son of a bitch. You'll never get rich. You're in the army now. I turned to her and I said, really? This is what you remember? You don't know me, but you remember the song. So I realized my mom is honestly the true rebel without a cause. And as much as growing up, people would say we were different, and I may not look exactly like her, we are really not that far apart. And in times of stress, I turned into being my mother. Thanks, guys. That's my time. I hope you enjoyed my story.